With the Florida GOP leading by over 900,000 votes, what does this mean for the future of the Sunshine State's political power? Let's look at the numbers and the implications. Welcome to another episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up. I'm your host, Joel Hoxley, David Washington. David, the Republican Party of Florida has ended April with a substantial lead in voter registration. It's boasting 5,247,165 registered voters to the Democrats' 4,340,614.
Wow.
Now, this is 906,551 voter advantage, marks the continued widening gap since the GOP overtook the Democrats in 2021. So, David, with 3,531,112 voters registered as unaffiliated and 352,027 with third parties, Republicans maintain the dominance in the statewide offices. Now, the legislature and the Florida congressional delegation. Now, as of November elections approaching, the GOP strategic gains in voter registration could signal significant impacts on Florida's political landscape.
Well, Florida's going to be red for quite some time. Let's just say it as it is. And, again, you have to go back to then chair Christian Ziegler implementing a voter registration plan that got the Florida GOP to where they are right now.
That was Vice Chair Ziegler at the time.
Okay.
I'm just saying because as the vice chair, he was very active in setting this up, and then when he became the chair, it was fully implemented. So just to give you a heads up,
Thank you.
That was his active role
Mhm.
as the vice chairman. So when he became chairman, it was already in place. It was strong, and he continued that on.
Kudos to Christian Ziegler and establishing this incredible voter registration feat effort for the Florida GOP. Game recognizes game, and I respect what the Florida GOP has done in turning the tide of registered voters here in Florida. And you all who have maybe seen the title to this podcast, it mentions the Orange County Democrats raising $100,000 in a recent fundraiser. Bravo to them too. Should have came in 2022, but that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah, but David, the amount of dollars that they are actually raising is insurmountable to a registration lead. They know this because this is how they've won in the past. This
exactly.
is, there's a commitment. There's a marriage when you're registered to a party.
Mm-hmm.
And when people leave a party, it's a divorce. So what our attempt is to make sure that we're marrying as many people as we possibly can, so that when they go into the voting booth, when they go in to make their decision, that they don't abandon the family.
Preach.
And that's why it's important for voter registration. The money's going to come because people don't like, and this is what's happening now. People are voting because they don't against people instead of voting for people. And this is just a terrible way of doing business. Look, don't vote against somebody, vote for somebody. Have a reason to vote for them. That way we won't have the same people running over and over again, because you'd have people that you really respect and move forward. Again, this voter registration is huge. This is insurmountable at this point. Uh, that's why we're not getting, huge names for statewide races any longer. And we have counties that are about to switch that should that have never ever been that close. And I have an interview with Jesse Phillips, if you want to go back to one,
And
where
Jesse is
Jesse Phillips, the vice chairman of the Republican Party here in Florida, and we talk about this, and we talk about this in depth. So that's something you might want to, you know, if you are a member and you do subscribe and you keep up with what we're doing on our podcast, that's a great interview because he opens up about a lot of things and explains a lot about where our focus is, where their focus is as a party. So,
um, again, the Florida GOP has done what it's take, what it has to. The GOP has did what they need to do to not only have advantages in the voter rolls, but also advantages as far as the fundraising. What I'm a little disappointed in the fact that the Florida GOP. Well, let me check that. The DeSantis administration decided to exit the ERIC um, collaboration with other states to maintain or to keep the voter files clean across the nation. If one state may have someone who is registered in another state and their state, those two states cooperate to, determine whether or not that person is in either state or whatever. But otherwise, I think that the Florida GOP has made great strides in cementing their political dominance moving forward. I still think that they'll have supermajorities in the House and in the Senate this year here in Florida. Of course, the governor's seat will still be in the hands of the Florida GOP. I just don't. I just don't see the tide turning anytime soon. On a very local level, um, Democrats need to have more quarters where they're raising those six-figure numbers and build a bench. They've got some really great young people ready to take on leadership roles, and it's long time that the local Democratic Party feed those young candidates and lean into the diversity of those candidates also. Democrats tend to talk about their pride in diversity and change and things like that. We see a lot of the older generation holding these seats that the Democrats have. Let's see more younger people, more men of color,
well, David,
more
I like the fact
diversity.
I like the fact that you talk about the Democrats being a party of diversity, but now it's a party of division.
Mm,
They're not just subtracting; they're dividing now.
mhm.
And that division, you're losing. You're seeing a huge loss of black men
Oh yeah,
leaving the party.
yeah,
You're seeing a huge exodus of Hispanics leaving the party,
yes, sir.
and this is because you know it's not about diversity as much as about division. And if you're going to continue, the Republicans are no look. The Republicans are no saints. Okay, I'm just
Sure.
saying that the focus needs to be on everybody in your party because I think you've abandoned so many that they're finding a new home. And as you watch those trends, some of these registrations are black men, are Hispanics deciding that they're in a party that has no direction.
I agree. And being a lifelong Chicago Democrat, which is much different than a Florida Democrat, I try to enter that big tent that the Democrats call themselves, and I get the side eye you know, they look at me like, I know that there are white men that the Democrats have shed from their leadership, from their ranks, that want to represent the party, that have great ideas, that will put in the work, and they've been told by Democratic leaders, well, you're not female, no, you're not a black male, no, you're not Hispanic, no, you're not a black woman, no, you're not a Hispanic male, you don't check those boxes. And it's like, wow, that 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 just contradicts, what we see in a lot of at least here in Central Florida that I see, in some of what the Democrats have done. But yeah, I see it myself. I see Democrats leaving the voter rolls, voter files that we have access to. I see more and more black men say, thanks but no thanks. One quote in one article I read about black voters in Wisconsin, one black gentleman said, something, with the Republicans, it's really not about the color of your skin, it's the color of the money in your wallet. And if it's the same currency as everyone else, then you're welcome. Hey, it's about everyone doing better. And we have our fringe. We both sides of the political
Oh,
spectrum have is fringe characters. There's no doubt about it. But however, I walk into that Big Ten of the Democrats, and I got to make sure I check off certain boxes to feel welcome. And even then, I still get the side eye.
well, you're always welcome at any party that we're at because you're part of our Jay in Washington network family. And it's no longer a purple state. Florida is now red. And if you don't, if you live in California and you're tired and you're disgusted in your politics, you're probably moving here, and we've welcomed you in. Look, like, share, subscribe. We are your political innovators here at Jay in Washington. We want to inform you. We want to hear from you. If we're not hitting the mark, if we're not saying exactly what you think we should be, then reach out to us. Let us know. Bring your facts, not your feelings. We love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. We have a library full of content, and some of that content talked about how the Florida Democrats can become relevant again. A 20-point plan, actually.
Yeah, if you tune into the David Washington show, there is a very good series there where you talk to the Democrats about, hey, if we do this, we become strong and relevant again. So again, our content is growing. It's going to get more difficult to find it. So get subscribed now so that you can get in there and start finding real relevant stuff that might help you if you're thinking about being a civil servant or just want to get behind somebody and help them get elected.